I have returned to make another video about the situation, except this video pertains a lot to Strider's video where I want to talk about experiences that I have seen and dealt with personally regarding SCL. Now, if you guys are not aware, SCL was the competitive side of Phantom Forces, and it was a community we are no longer, it's been closed down for well over a year, maybe even 2 years. June 9th, 2023 was when everything was shut down, and you can't do anything else with it, so about a year and a half, so at least I had my numbers right. Now, SCL was a very tight-knit community, and not too many people knew about it. It was promoted through Stylus. They had links to it in game. They even talk about it, like the announcement messages that'll randomly pop up in, your chat down here in the bottom left, everything like that. It'll say, check out our SCL league. And I believe even on Metro, there is a sign to having the SCL logo. Yeah, so here it is. It's still in progress. I'm getting shot at currently, but Stylus Competitive League SCL. Now, from here on out in the video, I do recommend that I will be talking about sensitive topics and sensitive information, and so viewer discretion is extremely advised, and if anything in the Strider vid made you uncomfortable, this stuff will as well. The first person I would like to talk about would be a Stylus mod under the name of Durlifa. Durlifa was not in SCL, but a bunch of their information came out, and so I feel like it is important to talk about it. So, Durlifa was, in fact, a Stylus mod, and they are no longer a Stylus mod. As of recently, I can't give you an exact date on the day that they were removed of their roles. You're probably wondering on why I would even be talking about it then if action was taken upon them, and that is because our favorite person of all time, AxisAngles, decide to try and cover everything up. Durlifa was in a server that had a bunch of people in Phantom Forces in it, and in that server contained some minors, and their ages were known. The reason I know that they're known is because I have all of their ages in a Google document, which is where I found all of this information against the person Durlifa. Now, if I'm butchering the name, I apologize, but basically what this person did is in this server, they would send a bunch of illicit pictures, knowing the pictures are censored, obviously, because they are NSFW. They are not meant for anyone under the age of 18 to be seen. He knowingly did this an ungodly amount of times. And so not only did he send images in this server, he also would ping the minors at them so they would get the notification and see it. Like, how messed up. And on top of that, he was also extremely, she, they, I don't know what the pronouns are, so I'm gonna try and use gender neutral from now on. They would also be extremely racist. And when I say extremely racist, I mean, oh my god, it was so bad. But the reason why this topic comes up even more now is because of what AxisAngle did. He tried to cover everything up and allowed Durlifa to step down instead of being fired. Instead of firing Durlifa, AxisAngle allowed them to step down on their own terms, not addressing the situation at all, and just saying, yeah, you can get off, scot-free, just, say you're sorry for failing your duties as a mod and you're good. Like, no, make a statement saying this is not acceptable. Like, there are so many other precautions that should have been taken. I'm not going to give my thoughts on any of the stuff that AxisAngle or Vanguard came out with. Vanguard is in Dan, that's their name on, Discord, official name and everything like that. I'm not gonna give my thoughts about that, Strider already did. I'm just gonna keep talking about the experiences that I've had with people. While doing my research for the SCL staff members that were outed and dealt with, I came across a fellow who is known within the community, almost every single Phantom Forces community at this point, and he goes by the name of Creeper. Creeper was known for being a not your typical person he would ban evade all the time. He came into my server. He would make so many alt accounts to try and get into my server, all this kind of stuff. He did the same thing with, I know he did with Spirals and SCL and all this kind of stuff. He just wanted to cause chaos. And so while looking through a bunch of this information, I watched him unfold in a Discord channel that I'm in, to where he admitted to liking minors in a illicit way. I'm trying my best not to use words that YouTube will dislike. Bear with me here. Now, Creeper stated that when responding to a message, and that message was, "What did you say before in voice call about finding the body of 15-year-olds attractive?" In which Creeper responded, "I find it illicitly appealing, but that doesn't mean I would have a romantic relationship with anyone of that age." He just full-blown admitted to being attracted to minors in a NSFW way because he is over the age of 18. That is insane to me. And he even made a follow-up message of saying, "Okay, well then I guess I am a insert P word here if you say so, and what can I do about that?" I'm not here to spend all my time talking about him. I just figured it would bring up, as he was a prominent member in a few communities, but not in a good way. Next up would be a player in SCL. This is the final person before I get into the staff. It was brought to my attention from someone who watched one of my videos where I talked about if anyone had any information about anything that happened. So ran into this person whose name was Gage. He played for the team Yakuza back in the early stages of SCL. Now what he did is completely unforgivable. Gage would talk to this 13-year-old girl. But basically, Gage was a weird fellow. I do not 100% have his age, but I know that there was a age gap between these two people, as the girl during the time was 13/14 years old. Some of the stuff happened when she was 13. Some of the stuff happened when she was 14. For privacy reasons, I will not be revealing her name at all or anything about her. But basically what Gage did is, in a VC with her, he would be inappropriate with himself on the voice call with her. I can't go into any further description about that, so however y'all take that is however y'all take that. But and so as soon as even a little bit of wind caught off of it, he left on his own accord. I will not be displaying any sort of proof of this, as this is by far one of the worst things I've ever heard of, and I don't want to put that out onto YouTube. Now luckily, after the incident, he didn't bother her anymore. Up next, we have the incident of Bryce and Sinon. I do not have any screenshots of their conversations, as the document that was put out about it, I didn't save the images early enough into my career of SEL, as I didn't think I would be making this video. The Google Drives have been locked, but I do have screenshots pertaining to the conversation that will come in handy later. But basically, Bryce was of age and Sinon was not, and they had conversations. And I say conversations as in Bryce reaching out to Sinon. Bryce was a not so nice person in the community in general. I'm going to play a clip of him in a VC, and you will see why he was not exactly liked in the community.
Why? I don't understand why I'm on the SSR when I...
Yo, no Bryce, quit yelling! That's the reason Ram's feeling you, retard!
Get out of the rusty shitter!
Jesus Christ, Bryce, shut the fuck up. Holy fuck.
Don't fucking time me if you're not a roster dog shit ass nigga!
Why do you think Julian's muted, nigga? Shut up!
Now basically the underlying context of everything is that Bryce was sending Sinon gym photos that I don't have 100% of proof on, but considering that it was big enough to make a doc over, I would assume that they were not safe for work images. I don't have 100% proof of it, as I don't have the pictures, obviously. Take this with a grain of salt. And now people still carry on his name by using it as a reference of talking to minors in a not so nice way. People did constantly harass him for this, which I do not 100% approve of, but there are consequences to your actions, and I hope he understands that. Now, next up on our list, we have an individual named Isumi. Now, for a little bit of context, I was a part of the staff for SEL. I was on the media team. I did some of the casting, like the game casting for their competitive matches. I also played on a team, but that was after my casting days. But she was the staff leader of media. So any type of question that any of the lower media people had, they went to her. Now, Izumi was let go from her position because she was also found talking to a minor in a not so nice way. As you can see, there is a trend going on in SEL and Stylus and Phantom Forces and everything. People love to talk to minors in illicit ways. I don't understand. It baffles me like crazy. But the individual who was affected was, I believe he was 16/17 years old. I know it was one of the two numbers. I don't have any form of proof saying that. I just have people's witness accounts saying that he was 17 because all the documentation was locked. Now, what Izumi did with Johan was talk about illicit things, and she didn't even bother asking his age until it was far too late. As soon as the community heard about this, a couple people stepped forward and said that Izumi had been messaging them also more inappropriate things. I've had people say that she made comments to them that made them feel unsafe around her in VCs, and I don't have the 100% proof of the VC stuff because, you know, at that point it becomes hearsay, and so I won't exactly speak upon that and won't make that complete evidence. But I do have multiple gifts that people have sent me and images of conversations that she has had other people, and the severity of it. Like, some of these screenshots are absolutely crazy. It was absolutely insane at the time. But Izumi was let go in a very timely manner as soon as there was enough evidence. Some people believed that she didn't 100% deserve it. Some people did. And as soon as she was gone, they needed somebody to step up. Now, this is where I go into the part of my personal rant on why Stylus as a whole sucks. I believe that I will be talking partially for Spirals as well. Me and him were very close around the time that this was happening, and we both had a lot in common when it came to Stylus's moderation. I was already staff at this point when she was let go. They needed somebody to step up for the staff leader position, somebody to kind of run everything, who had a good idea of everything, and that was me. The moderators over at SEL, specifically SEL, not Stylus in general, but SEL, took a poll, and they asked the devs over at Stylus, Axis, Shay, and asked them to participate in the poll. And they did not for a little bit. They kind of brushed it off. With that, SEL was like, okay, we'll go ahead and promote me as the person just up next in charge. We don't see any issues with it. Later, 2 hours later, actually, I was removed from the position, and I got told to go talk to people about this, people over at Stylus, about why I was removed, because the devs didn't even want to bother talking to me about it themselves. No, they were too lazy talking to minors and all this other kind of stuff. So no, why would they have a conversation with me? And I'm surprised they didn't, because I was a minor at the time. But because of my standing as a content creator, they didn't want me going up any higher than I actually was, which, mind-blowing. They hated me and Spirals together. Anytime I would have a stance in something, it would get shut down, or anytime I wanted to apply for content creator, they would shut me down. They physically did not want me. And that's okay, that's fine. You know, they can have their opinions, but a lot of it stemmed from the fact I talked about openly being a part of the LGBTQ community, because I would talk about that on stream, but I wouldn't go into any specifics. I was a relatively like PG-14. I'm not gonna be like 100% PG, and now that I'm not even trying to go for anything with Stylus, I'm more free to talk about and curse and this kind of stuff. They didn't like that, like, at all. They didn't even bother promoting me in any sort of way. And that is actually physically what barred me from moving up as a content creator, which is absolutely crazy, because I don't know if you guys had ever watched Oscar back when he went by the name of Ruby. You would never hear him talk about that at all on stream. Like, it was kind of like a little weird that he never even like mentioned it. I tuned into a lot of his streams, a lot of his videos even, and never once did I hear it talked about. And so that can either mean one of two things. It can either be Oscar, Ruby at the time not wanting to talk about that personally, as it was something they weren't comfortable with, or it was Stylus kind of going, hey, we don't want you talking about this if you want to stay as a content creator. And wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, that is 100% skepticism, and I hope that you guys don't take that as a fact. I can only do a judgment based off of what they told me. I cannot know their true intentions behind everything, but that is just what I experienced within the Stylus mainframe. Is the devs not even wanting to talk to me about this, and I got talked to by other people about it, and I had to do this whole maze run of trying to figure out why I was getting removed from staff leader and all this other kind of stuff. Like I said, I can't 100% prove this, but I feel like me expressing my opinion on the situation is very important. Finally, I do want to touch a little bit on AxisAngle and the whole situation regarding him. People are calling him a groomer, and I feel like that is not the correct term for him. And I'm literally not defending anything. I just talked about him trying to cover everything up at the start of the video. When people do a little bit of looking into him, a lot of bad stuff pops up that wouldn't surprise me if people come forward saying that Axis had done bad things to them. And the only reason I say that is because if you Googled AxisAngle, the first thing that pops up is, I believe, a Wikipedia page. And the second thing that pops up is a furry website. Now, this website contains a lot of NSFW content. And when Axis had his account public, he currently privated it and shut it down himself. Wasn't banned or anything like that. He just took himself down because, you know, he's actually trying to, you know, fix a little bit of his past, but it's too late. He's already way too far gone. You can see what people's favorites are just at their profile, you know, up for dispensal. One of the ones that I got sent was a picture of a furry. Now, I don't know the age of however people are depicting this person. Furry is looking like it was depicted to be over the age of 18 and interacting with a child. You know, can't do really anything about that. That's his thing. But for someone who is running a massive game, I would hope that you wouldn't have this kind of stuff linked to you. It is absolutely crazy. Now, obviously all the images are blurred because I don't want y'all to see that, first off, because it genuinely scarred me a little bit. And also, I would definitely get taken off of YouTube so fast. Now, I promise every single day new stuff is going to come out. I don't foresee myself making any more videos on the situation. The reason I say that is because I'm gonna do what some Steven is doing, where a lot of this is hitting close to home for me. I'm kind of taking his words a little bit, and I apologize, some Steven, if throughout my career as a Phantom Forces YouTuber, when I was younger, I had a lot of this experience happen to me through people who I had met through Phantom Forces, where at the time of 15, 16, 17, however old I was, I know it was around those ages of when I was actually getting, you know, popular within the Phantom Forces. I had people sending me death threats, my IP address, and all this kind of stuff. I had people sending me illicit pictures of themselves just randomly in my DMs. They were a bunch of random people, but I met them through Phantom Forces. And so I want you guys, if you are going to continue to play the game, to be careful. There are a bunch of messed up people out there in this game still. I promise there are. I want you guys to be very careful with anything that you do, in especially just Roblox. Roblox as a whole is a terrible platform from children. I hope someday Roblox decides to take more of an action on this, but until then, please be careful, guys. I will hope to make videos on just Roblox in general, all this kind of fun stuff. I would love to continue to make content for y'all, but in the meantime, I don't think I will be covering any more stuff on Phantom Forces. Everything that I have talked about is everything I want to say about the situation. Obviously, if more stuff arises that I feel the need to talk about, I'll talk about it. Until then, like the video and stuff like that, spread the Strider video as much as possible. Make sure people are informed about the situation, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.